Hey, did you know I'm a grandpa? This is my granddaughter, and she's visiting, so I'm going to do a portrait in gouache. Here's what the gouache portrait looks like partway through, and here's what it looks like farther along. And you can rework a painting in gouache quite easily, because models like this don't pose for very long. So we're going to have some fun on this, and let's get started.
It's Grandpa.
Hi. What's going on over here?
That's Dado. He's dropping things all the time like a 2-year-old.
There we go. I'm gonna have to just take her as she comes.
She's never examined this piece of toy this carefully before.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
It's because she's got those motor skills now.
They arrived in the last week, these skills.
Yeah.
When she first got here, she didn't have it. She couldn't pass things from one hand to the other. And grab, and she is teething. And she has learned to hold things in her hands, pass an object from one hand to the other, almost sitting unaided. She likes to feel the strength in her legs. She's growing every day in what she can do and what she can think. She likes smooth.
Yeah.
She loves the doggy. If she might make it to 11:30, Christina said. Oh, there's Dad. He's trying to write code. Not too easy with you here.
Okay. Oh, hi. She was vaguely concerned. Oh, that seemed to work.
She likes singing.
Yeah.
Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you. Oh, down
Look at those rosy cheeks. Need a little alizarin crimson. That's not Mom.
Hi.
I'm going to try to keep the watercolor wet into wet and just go for big, soft shapes. Oh, can I get that for you?
Pardon me. Operator error.
Oh, do whatever you have to do.
So sad.
Poor
I
thing.
have to take her for a walk. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Frustrated or tired.
Yeah. do what you need to do.
Oh, rubbing her eye. Rubbing her eyes. She might need to be strollered. All that setup time, she was peaceful.
I know, isn't that crazy? It's okay. I put water. Let's see. She'll have moods. Got to make her eyes a little bit bigger.
Yes, give the biggest smile for Grandpa.
There you go.
You put it in the right spot.
Yep, I got it right there. Is there an element of comedy here? Let's see. I can put a little bit of a glaze on the gouache, but boy, I got to be light with it without picking up the previous layers. So I got the background darker behind the light side and lighter behind the dark side. Basic chiaroscuro. I want to paint the highlights in the eyes. Usually save that for last, because it's such a payoff. It won't hurt to see how it looks. Because of that bulging curvature of the cornea, a highlight on an eye isn't like a highlight on a ball. It's often a little more complex than that. Now I put down some water in the area behind her head there, just to wet the surface, and I'm just dropping in a few strokes of transparent watercolor to suggest the vertical folds of a curtain behind her.
Oh yeah, that's it. Remember, it buckles under his chest.
Oh,
That's all right. Good.
like here?
Yeah. It's a solid sounding thing.
Well, we're halfway through, so let's take an evaluation. I think that the head is too small on the right-hand side, and in the lower part. Needs to come down a little bit. The eyes look okay, more or less, but the whole lower part of the face needs to extend downward and to the side. So I'm going to take some water on a rag, and since this is gouache, it'll all lift up. So I'm going to lift out what I can of the lower part of the face and go back in and repaint it. I'll go in with a brush now and restate those lines where they probably should be.
Poor Dan is trying to code. We might have to get it out. And Christine was trying to teach.
I may be wrecking it, but I'm going to do what I have to do.
That's great.
To start, that's all it is.
Not a very model.
Yeah, I've got to risk wrecking it if I'm going to fix it. Yeah, go ahead and take her. I'll just work from memory for a while. Her mouth is a little lower than I had it before, and her cheeks have much more fullness than I did it the first time. Everything changes with a little bit of a head tilt too, so it all depends on what angle her head is at.
How's it taste?
Now I've got to recover those intermediate tones, keeping in mind that the value will shift a little bit as the paint dries. Her face still isn't right, but let me work for a while on Jeanette's hand. I'll do the fingers that are wrapped around her shoulders. It's her thumb there. The light is soft, which means it's coming from a large area, the window next to us. So that means the transitions are really gradual from the light side to the shadow side. So those values are close.
Yeah, see, if you hold one end and you pull it, the other end moves too. Isn't that something? That sounds like a cracker, but it's not.
There's a lot of reflected light from that white bib bouncing up under her cheeks. I have to ignore that because I'm not going to include the white bib.
Are you giving him a raspberry? They're collapsing.
I'll switch from a brush to a fountain pen to do some little accents in the really dark places like under her chin. That's one thing I love about gouache and watercolor is the way you can combine them with drawing techniques like pen and ink and watercolor pencils. It's kind of halfway between drawing and painting.
Oh boy. Sit, stand.
Sit, probably. Start by sitting. She seems centered enough to sit.
She's very centered. I just be quiet. I just hold her.
Yeah. Now where the hair meets the forehead, I want to replace that dry brush texture with delicate brush strokes with semi-transparent watercolor. And I want to get a quick glaze on the cheeks, just to make them a little rosier. Now before I take you the rest of the way to the finish, I want to tell you about a video tutorial called Portraits in the Wild, where I draw and paint people on location from life using a variety of media: gouache, watercolor, casein, and oil. Let me just show you a trailer from that video. Hi, my name is James Gurney. Welcome to Portraits in the Wild. I'm going to start with a pencil drawing using watercolor pencil and some gouache and watercolor to try to do a monochromatic study of a group of people waiting for lunch at this outdoor fair. In the rest of this video, I'll be doing some other painting challenges, including painting a single model, a historical reenactor at Sturbridge Village.
That's how you're fattening your hogs. So it wouldn't have been grain. It was all leftover dairy product.
And then I'll do a painting of a farmer in a barn, someone who's not used to posing and not really holding still. And then the third one will be a group of singers at a sacred harp festival in Massachusetts. For each one of these challenges, I'll be trying to stay ready for opportunities, change gears when I have to, and show you some tips for how you can capture people in the wild. Now we're on the home stretch, so I'm going to use the brush to suggest the texture of a knitted sweater, this hand-knitted sweater that she's wearing. A brush will give you a wide range of textures, especially if you use an old brush with fibers that are spread out. But there's another kind of texture you can get using new pastel, which is a kind of chalk or pastel. I always carry a couple of light ones in my kit for this kind of thing. And to blend it in, I can blend it with my finger or even paint back over it. Well, doing a portrait like this of a baby who's moving and growing is like a snapshot in time. If you want to learn more about my process, I recommend my books, Color and Light and Imaginative Realism, which you can find on my website. If you have questions or comments, please ask them below. Also, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I've got hundreds of videos you can binge out on and soak up a little tip here and there. Thanks for watching.